Today I'll be showing you how to make some pizzas from scratch. This is one of my favorite childhood memories because every week we would have a family pizza night and kind of like assemble them all ourselves, but my mom would have made the dough ahead of time because we were children and couldn't be trusted. But I trust you, so let's get started. To make the pizza dough, I'm starting off with 1.5 cups of 110 to 15 degree water with 2 packets of yeast added. This is dry yeast, so when it comes into contact with that warm water, it'll kind of wake up and get happy, but if it's too hot, you'll kill them all. And if it's too cold, nothing will happen. So warm water into a warm bowl. Give it a little swirl to get started. And I'm actually gonna add in 1/2 teaspoon of granulated sugar just to get them started, like a little bit of a breakfast for them. Okay, give that a stir. And it should take about 7 minutes-ish. You'll see foaming or bubbling, which means they're waking up and getting happy. I warmed my metal bowl up because nobody wants to sit in a cold metal bowl, especially these yeast. Add it in to your standing mixer. And now you can see that my yeast are all kind of frothed up and a little bulbous. I'm adding that into my warmed bowl. Adding the remainder of the sugar, which was 2 tablespoons minus the 1/2 teaspoon. You can do the math. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna take in like a handful of dried rosemary, just crush it with my fingers. 1/4 cup of olive oil. I'll give this a quick mix. And now it's time to add in 4 cups of all-purpose flour. My neatest flour pour ever. We're gonna give this a good mix. It needs to kind of like come together, incorporate, and form a dough ball. Make sure you're using a dough hook for this. We're gonna increase to level 2. Okay, so this has formed a nice ball around my dough hook. Voila. Smells great. I love the smell of yeast. I wish I could bake bread every day. I'm gonna grease my bowl and I added a little bit of oil into this bowl and I'm just going to use a paper towel to whoosh it around. The whole point of this is just so the dough doesn't stick to the bowl and it'll release easily. Pour the olive oil and just kind of coat your dough. This has to rest for an hour and it'll double up in volume, but you need to cover it so it doesn't dry out. Normally I use plastic wrap, but I'm trying to be a bit more eco-friendly, so I bought these little bonnets that go on your bowl, and that'll work just fine. It's been just over an hour and this is doubled in size, so take a look. Remove that bonnet. Big. It actually was bigger, but I touched it like this and it, like a souffle, it deflated. All right, so now we're gonna punch this down. That's the fun part. All right, and then we're going to remove it from the bowl, which almost looks like I should have greased it a bit more. I was kind of stingy. All right, we're gonna use a well-floured surface and knead this. Okay. You know you're done kneading when you have like a bit of spring coming back. So if it's in a ball, you tap it, it'll spring back. Don't take your anger out on the dough ball. It didn't do anything to you. But just gently knead it like you're giving it a massage. When you're kneading, you're activating the proteins or gluten in the flour, and it's just changing the structure into something kind of more bready, which is what you want, as opposed to something cakey like you would have in a cake batter that you just mix until combined. I'm using these super sweet cherry tomatoes and just giving them a little halve so that they don't burst in your mouth because they'll become really hot in the oven. If you're using larger tomatoes, just slice them into 1/4 inch thick slices. Cut the fresh mozzarella into 1/4 inch thick discs and set them aside. Now I'm using my bench scraper to divide my dough into 4 even-ish pieces. Put the 3 pieces that you're not using aside and cover them in a damp paper towel so they don't dry out. Now start carefully stretching your dough into a circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's a rustic pizza, so just thin it out. Make sure to keep moving the dough around, and you can also feel free to reflour the surface. You don't want it to stick. If you have your special pizza making gear, use that, but I lost mine in the last move, so I'm using parchment paper on a baking sheet so I have easy transfers. You'll be repeating this process for the other pizzas, just FYI. Use the back of a spoon to spread sauce onto the pizza. You want to be liberal, but not have a pool of sauce because then the pizza won't crisp up. Place the mozzarella slices evenly all over the pizza. Same goes for those beautiful tomatoes. I'm giving mine a liberal sprinkling of sea salt. Now it's going to go into the oven at 450 Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes or until that crust is golden brown and it looks delicious. After the pizza's out of the oven, give it a few seconds to cool down and then sprinkle it with some fresh basil. Now it's time for the potato pizza. I'm starting off by slicing these little baby potatoes pretty thinly, and I'm separating them into the white potatoes and the purple potatoes. I'm going to parboil them, which means just boiling them for a couple minutes to tender them up before baking. Boil the white potatoes first, and then do the same for the purple potatoes. I'm not boiling them together because they would all turn out bluish. You want to kind of like maintain a separation so the white stays white and the dark stay dark. It's like doing the laundry. After you've prepared your pizza dough, it's time to spread some pesto on this time. If you really want to do a red pizza, go ahead. You could also do a white pizza with some olive oil that you flavored with garlic. Delicious. For this pizza, I'm using shredded mozzarella because I want those potatoes to kind of like maintain the pattern I'm going to use. And now it's time to arrange our potatoes. I'm doing stripes of white and purple and hoping that it looks intentional as opposed to a mess. After your potatoes are arranged, you're going to give them a light brush with olive oil, a little sprinkle of sea salt, and then pop them into the oven at 450 again for 15 to 20 minutes or until that crust is golden and you'll see the potatoes are nice and tender. Now for the fig pizza. I'm so excited because figs are in season and they're delicious. Remove the stem with a knife and slice them in half. Repeat the same process with shaping your dough, again on the parchment paper, and this time you're going to brush it with some olive oil. Now I'm sprinkling on some freshly shaved Parmesan. So delicious, really strong in flavor, but it's gonna complement those sweet, sweet figs. Cover that pizza completely with those figs cut side up into the oven once again at 450 for 15 to 20 minutes. This is totally optional, but I'm making a balsamic glaze. All this is a nice balsamic vinegar. You could use a little bit of honey or sugar if you want to sweeten it up, and you're just heating it to thicken it up. Drizzle the balsamic all over that pizza and give it a cut. Now it's time to eat. I know what you're gonna ask me. Which one is your favorite? So hard to choose, of course, but here it is. Okay, this fig guy, I really loved. These figs were perfectly ripe and I used a beautiful, really nice aged balsamic and reduced it just a bit. Came out really well and I enjoyed nibbling on it. I kind of feel like it's almost a side dish though. Like you want to have this with something else, maybe a salad to help balance it out. Okay, the pizza pesto potato situation, this was really good. I have fond memories of this pesto potato pizza at a local pizzeria in my neighborhood. And mine was pretty good, but they have some magic in it. And that there's like a pound of olive oil. It's like the greasiest pizza in the world, but still delicious. Less greasy, I really enjoyed it. The potatoes are so creamy, it's a nice addition. I might even recommend having a larger, thicker potato and just tossing it on for that rustic, extra potato action. This is my favorite. Fresh mozzarella, a nice tomato sauce, and some beautiful little golden cherry tomatoes with some fresh basil. What else could go wrong on this? Nothing, it's delicious. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Oh, should I take another bite? A bite for you? Okay. It's so good, that basil. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe.